In a country as steeped in tradition and religion as Israel, it's hard to believe that football thrives amongst its people. But here, the beautiful game is played with the same passion that is reserved for religious practices. There is a problem though. More often than not, the choice of football as a career proves to be a difficult road, as the game often clashes with specific events in the Jewish calendar, and players find themselves at odds with the traditions they have been brought up to uphold. And so, one must ask if it is possible to find a balance between the spiritual and physical worlds of a Jewish football player.
I try to do, the minimum and pray every morning. It's keep my family healthy, together, and this is my faith.
One can never really replicate the value of life that one can really experience through internalizing spiritual principles and a lifestyle based on spirituality.
We have Muslim players and we have Christian players and we have Jewish players, so everyone to his own beliefs.
The idea of the Sabbath is not just a day of rest, because then if it was a day of rest you could go play soccer, because it's a great way to rest.
אין שום סיכוי בעולם, גם לא תמורת הגביע העולמי בכבודו בעצמו, שנשחק ביום כיפור. מבחינת לשחק בשבת, מבחינת המונדיאל כשנגיע, אין לנו שום בעיה בעניין.
יום כיפור בסופו של דבר לא שיחקתי.
In Jerusalem stands the oldest man-made symbol of the Jewish faith, the Western Wall, called by some the Wailing Wall, that originally formed part of the external wall surrounding King Solomon's temple, which was destroyed. This is a good place to start looking for answers.
Judaism is a religion that goes back thousands of years. It started with the father, Abraham. He was the first Jew, as per se. He discovered God, developed a relationship with God. He passed that down onto his children. And we have the famous story when the Jewish people land up in Egypt and they are slaves. And then the Lord comes and he redeems them from slavery in Egypt. And that is really the beginning of the history of the Jewish people. They then come to a famous mountain in the desert, Har Sinai, the mountain of Sinai. And this is really the foundation of our faith, that we believe in a divine revelation, but a collective revelation, that God revealed himself to the entire nation and gave us his 10 commandments and his Torah, which is really the Bible. It's the 5 books of Moses, his code of law to live by. And that is really the beginning of the Jewish people and the Jewish religion. In Judaism specifically, we don't necessarily see a difference or a distinction between the physical and the spiritual. From what I understand, in some other religions, the physical is seen as something intrinsically evil or bad, and therefore should be moved away from. But in Judaism, we look in general at the physical as something neutral that can be used for the bad or for the good.
In Israel, the distinction between the spiritual world and that of the physical is plain enough to see. Weekdays are for markets and other work, while the Sabbath, Saturday, is set aside for the more religious Jews to focus on their spiritual lives. The distinction can be seen in the contrast between the country's 2 biggest cities. Jerusalem is considered the spiritual hub of Judaism, while in Tel Aviv, the people are more flexible in their religious observance. But within what some would describe as a pluralistic society, there is a unity. Jews from around the world congregate together to support their national football team for a crucial World Cup qualifier at the Ramat Gan Stadium against Greece.
We love Israel, and we thought we'd come out, support the boys. Massive game, so you know, fingers crossed.
You know, this game is very important. We have to win, but we have to beat Greece. If not, then we can go home.
First of all, it's going to be a big celebration for us, all the Israeli people who love football, who love the country. You know that the Israeli people love to celebrate, and we are looking for any occasion just to have, you know, it's just fun. We really hope that we will win today. I hope that we will win today. I wish that we will win today. But it's not just if we win or not win. It's just to come to be here with 40,000 people celebrating, happy, just to feel the energy and the atmosphere. It's going to be rock.
I think watching Israel as well is like a massive part, because the actual Israel squad's full of Arabs and Jews as well. So it actually brings them all together. It's a good, the whole team, like, as a role model, if you want to say, I think.
If one thinks about sport and soccer, that fits in very nicely. That in Judaism, we believe there is room for physical development, for physical exercise, for looking after one's body. Really, the body is the temple for the soul. This is the vessel that God has given us to house our soul and to use it. Therefore, we need to look after the body, and we believe in exercise and sport.
Although this combination is not necessarily mutually exclusive, it does sometimes make you have to choose one interest over another. This may mean losing one altogether, or finding a way for them to coexist within your life.
I come from quite an intense sporting and particularly soccer background vis-a-vis my family. My father was a professional soccer player in Brazil. He played for a famous club called Botafogo. In fact, the players that he played with were half the Brazilian selection side of the national team who won the World Cup in '58.